welcome into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of our community. I'm your host, Barbara Marvel Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us. We have today Trinity Odessa Chamber. We have Dan Sullivan back by popular demand.
Third time.
I know. How about that? It's great to have you. You always have so much going on over there. You have a couple of things that you want to share with us in our first segment, and something that is really, really great with the Chesco. I'm going to just let you go ahead and tell everyone, because I know you're very proud with your membership and all the different activities and everything going on.
Sure. Well, to give an update, since we last met, we had set a goal of 400 for the year for our membership, and we're excited to announce we hit that goal this month.
Awesome.
So we are now at about 410 members and growing every day. So we're really excited about that. So now we've had to set a new goal. So, you know, the goals keep coming, which is a great thing for us. But one of the things that's important to us is that we educate our members in what's going on in the community. So we have an events calendar that they're able to do that. And one of the events that we have coming up, it's called Let's Put Our City on the Map. And it's a program that Google is putting on. Google is one of the leading search engines that are out there. And most businesses don't know how to make sure their information is correct or proper on Google. So we actually are hosting a seminar that is sponsored by Rasmussen College in Land O'Lakes that will allow our members or any community business to come and learn to make sure that their information is correct on Google. Google Maps has made the announcement that they're going to wipe out all outdated information, and if you haven't verified your business on Google, they're going to wipe that information out. It doesn't mean that you can't go back in and re-verify your business, but it's important with the amount of web searches that are going on through Google that your information is correct. So we have a 3-hour seminar that we do 9 to 12 that will be located at the Rasmussen in Land O'Lakes on State Road 54. And it's a 3-hour course, and you'll learn a lot of information. It's hands-on. We actually set you up at a computer, so if you don't have a laptop, you can use one of the computers at Rasmussen, and they will walk you through step by step to make sure your information is correct.
Wow, that is really great. I mean, you do reach out and get the latest and the greatest on what's going on and updating and everything, and we need that.
Yes.
You know, business is changing on a daily basis. Just when you think you have one thing down pat, and then they change that. Now, this is the first I've heard about this.
Yeah. Well, we have a certified Google photographer, Steve Miller, and then also Todd Pillars, our chairman, is a past Google certified photographer. They actually have a program that's neat. They actually can come into your business and do a 360 view of your business. So as you go from street maps, you can walk inside the business and actually see everything inside, which is really neat. You know, one of our members, Skip's Christmas House, I had suggested this would be a great thing for him because he has all these little rooms inside his business that offer so many different themes and knickknacks, Christmas decorations, and looking at the outside of the building, you would have never known any of that was in there. So it's a product like that would take you inside would be a great tool for his business.
Wow.
But people don't know it's available. So that's what our goal is to try and teach them what's available for them to get that information and help them grow their business.
Absolutely. All these different tools, there is so much. It's like, where do you go and how do you get updated on it? Well, actually, when you tune in to My Chamber TV every Wednesday at 3:30, this is the kind of information that we're looking for so that we can stay current and really give ourselves the tools for our small businesses so that they can grow and continue to grow. So what else do you have coming up? I know you're really excited. We were talking about this before the show.
We have an event. This will be our second annual event. It's called In Pursuit of Trivia. And we came up with this event because we wanted to raise money for scholarships. There's a program that is offered locally called Take Stock in Children. And the money that we raise through our fundraising efforts is matched by the state. And we're able to provide a scholarship to a student that most likely would not have been given that opportunity. And it's given to them in 7th grade. It's called In Pursuit of Trivia. It'll be February 24th at the Verizon Event Center. It's an evening event. We have pizza and chips, so it's you know, come casual, come fun. Everybody gets to decorate a hat. Each team it's going to be teams of 4. Teams start out and sponsorships start out at $200 and go up from there. All of the information is available on our website. But it's a fun night, team building exercise also for companies. It's a great way to get some exposure for your business. We're looking at 40 teams to compete. And basically we have a colored spin wheel that we do, and we pick out the Trivial Pursuit card of that color, and then we ask the question. The teams have 30 seconds to come up with the answer. If they answer it correctly, they can stay in the round. If they answer it incorrectly, they have to buy a scholarship from us, which is also a donation, so that they can stay in the round and move on to the next round. There's a total of 3 rounds. When they get to the 3rd round, they have to answer it correctly or they're out. That's when we eliminate a bunch of them.
Oh, that really sounds like a lot of fun. Now, have you already started the team building?
Correct. Yeah, we currently have 6 teams that have already signed up. If you go to the website, it has a list of the teams, but we're starting to contact all the teams from last year. We had 28 teams last year. We can do up to 40 teams, so it's definitely more room. It's a fun time for your company and your employees to come out and have a blast. And
you raised a lot of cash.
Yeah, we actually raised $7,400, which helps us. We have a choice. We can either purchase one scholarship, a 4-year scholarship, or we can do 2 2-year scholarships. So our Ambassadors Club that hosts the event will make that decision. And then we also partner the student that awarded the scholarship. They are partnered with a mentor from our Ambassadors Club.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, so one of our first member that had joined the Chamber, Bob Memley, had a student in 2005. We just saw a photo of him at law school in his cap and gown. So he's getting ready to graduate law school.
That gives me chill bumps.
Yep, I got it too.
I love that. I love Bob.
Yes.
He's a riot.
Great.
What
so
a nice man.
we were able to watch this student be given a scholarship, and if you ask him or his mom, he would have never gone to college. So in 7th grade, he was awarded this scholarship and basically teamed up with a mentor, and he was able to go through. He went to St. Leo University with within 3 years, graduated, moved on to law school, and he's at the top of his class in law school, and he's getting ready to graduate. So it's really exciting to watch that transformation.
Oh, absolutely. That is just beautiful. And, you know, it just goes to show that getting involved with your community, it truly does work. And the Tampa Bay area, there are so many outreach programs, and to be able to be honored to interview somebody like yourself that is involved with this and being able to put a child through school, but also to be able to have a mentor to kind of like, you know, give them encouragement and help them along the way.
Those items.
And they're 7th graders, right?
Correct.
When they start with
given
this.
a scholarship in 7th grade, and Take Stock in Children actually works with them, puts them through classes and programs outside of school to help them with the process. They help them with their SATs, ACTs, help them, you know, with their application process for the college and stuff. And these are typically students that would not have had that guidance or support. The neat thing about watching this student's transformation over the years, I remember the first time I met him, he came to a luncheon, he had his tie in his hand, and he came up to me and he says, "I don't know how to tie this." Aww. So I tied the tie, stuck it on him, and he said he had left it like that for a year. Every event he went to, he would just tie it back up. And I, you know, talked to him several years later. He tells me the story. I completely forgot, but that one impact meant so much to him.
Absolutely.
You know, but the nice thing is here's a student that's going to stay in our community. He's going to support our community, and as he makes money with whatever business choice he decides to in law, he's going to give back to his community.
I was just going to say that. You're breeding this, and
Correct.
this is what we need with these younger generations and everything. Now, is there a particular protocol? Does the families apply to maybe get chosen? Is that how that works?
Basically, they have to be on the free or reduced lunch program in order to be a candidate for the Take Stock in Children program. And then Take Stock goes out to the schools and looks for applicants. A lot of times it comes from the guidance counselors or teachers, and they will direct them to Take Stock. So there's an application process that they go through. But basically, they stay with that student all the way through and follow through with them throughout their high school career. So they're not on it, you know, they're not going down this path on their own.
I see. So do the kids have to have some sort of a grade point average?
Yes, they do have to keep their grades up and also stay out of trouble. So if they get into any type of trouble, they could potentially lose the scholarship.
I see.
A lot of them, I know with Brendan, he was fortunate enough to get some scholarship help outside of the scholarship that was given to him when he went to St. Leo. So if they don't use a portion of their scholarship, it's given back to the program to be reused.
Very nice, very nice.
And the state matches any of the money that we raise and we're able to donate to Take Stock in Children. The state actually matches that money, so we're doubling our efforts. So that $7,400 becomes, you know, over $15,000. So you can't ask for any better than that.
No, you can't.
No.
That is fabulous.
The only thing that hurts my heart each time is that's one student.
Right.
that we helped maybe that year. So
Right.
our goal this year is if we can get those 40 teams and get the support, let's help 2 students with a 4-year degree. That's kind of been my goal, and that's what I want to see happen, because the more we can help these students, the more they're going to come back into our community and support
no
it.
doubt. No doubt. And I love to hear that. I mean, it just does our hearts good to know that we are able to give back. And so how can people get involved with you, Dan? Contact
Basically,
you direct?
Yeah, they can visit our website at trinityodessa.com. We actually run advertisement right on the main page where they can click for the events. Any of the events like the Google event, the In Pursuit of Trivia, those are all directly on our website. We also have an events calendar that's open for the public. Any event that is open to the community can be posted to our calendar at no charge, but you can also find our chamber events there.
Very nice. Well, we have about a minute or so. Do you have anything else you want to mention real quick?
Well, one of the things we're working on, our Sims Park, which we're actually close to here at the studio, is being revamped, and we're excited to have this year's Chasco will be at the new Sims Park.
Yay!
So we've got a tour of the construction zone today, and there's a lot of great features and a lot of new things happening at Sims Park. So we're excited to have Chasco being hosted at Sims Park, and make sure you come out April 1st to April 9th, and you can visit chascofiesta.com.
We are getting a jump start in promoting these events, and I love that. And you'll have to come back and share more with us, too.
Yes, once we get the lineup of the entertainment and all the stuff, we'll bring in some guests.
Definitely, definitely. Well, thanks, Dan. It's always great having you on.
It's a blast.
Good luck, and we're going to take a break. We have more guests involved with the Trinity Odessa Chamber of Commerce. We'll be right back after this.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental. Providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
My middle son did not like to come to the dentist, but now he loves to come to the Beehive.
You don't have to be afraid to go to the dentist. Believe me, Dr. B and his worker bees are the best. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Walk through life. Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let's take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way?
everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of our community. I'm your host, Barbara Marvell Kelly. Thanks a lot for joining us. I love interviewing businesses in our community. Today, it's all about members of the Trinity, Odessa Chamber of Commerce. We happen to have Marcus Myers with us you're actually the owner of Gator Cleaning Services, or Solutions, I should say. And I can't wait to hear about this because your company has grown to 100 employees.
We have. We started 11 years ago as a one-man show. I started this, looked at buying a franchise, looked at buying an existing company. I had never been in the industry, so I figured if I do that and I'm not good at this, then that money's gone. The franchise kind of turned me away because I didn't want business partners. I wanted no investors, just totally on my own. So I decided to take the money that we had that I was going to invest into that and invest it into myself, and got some business cards in a mop bucket, and away I went.
God bless you. Well, you've done something right, that's for sure.
It's it's not an exciting industry, but
But it's a guaranteed service for. I mean, it's cleaning. I mean, we have to do this. What makes your company different? Do you have different bells and whistles? I mean, this is very successful. I mean, you started from the ground right up.
Really, if I look back 11 years ago, I would never have thought it would have gotten this big.
Really?
I had plans, obviously everybody has the dream and they want to grow their company,
sure.
But it's cleaning, so how big can it really get? But as I started the company and I'm getting clients, it's customer relationship, it's customer service.
Bingo.
And to me, it really wasn't about the cleaning as much as it was that. Now, obviously the cleaning is important. Your customers, they want to have a clean office, we do doctors' offices, lawyers' offices, and, through the years now we've expanded into restaurants and bars, and we even do some cleaning in hospitals. We have a flooring division as well, which kind of came along with it. Once I started the company, I knew nothing about VCT and pH levels in carpet and none of that stuff. But once you have the commercial client base, of course, they all have flooring that needs to be cleaned, and so we kind of started getting into that. Now we have an entire flooring division, and it's been great. So we recently bought out Trinity Carpet Care, which is a residential flooring company here in the Trinity area.
Okay.
And that was because with the commercial cleaning, everything's done at night, or I'd say 90% of it.
That's understandable.
Yeah, after the office is closed, we show up and you come back the next day and it's nice and clean.
Exactly, exactly.
With that, in our flooring division, we had these truck mount systems that we use for all of our flooring needs that just sat there all day long doing nothing. So I'm at the office, I'm seeing these trucks sitting out there thinking, wow, these trucks need to be making money. We tried to get into the residential market, but there's so many different avenues you can take when you have really any company, but definitely a commercial cleaning company. And we just really couldn't break into it. So I had someone I had worked with for many years in the industry, and he was a one-man show for 10 years. So again, I had actually used him years and years ago to do some work for me, to help me out. Called him up and said, "You ready to get off that truck?" He said, "Yeah, definitely." So we bought him out, brought him on board with us, and now we have his clientele, and things are going great in the residential world for us as well.
That is so wonderful. I love hearing that. What made you go into the cleaning business? I'm just curious.
Well, ironically, I was in a company. Okay, so out of college, I was a sales guy. I had 2 different sales jobs. I was great at sales and thought, I've got to do something. I'm making all these other companies all of this money. I need to do something to where I can make this money.
There you go.
And so I got into business with a college buddy, and it was healthcare recruiting. We did that for about a year. Got out of that, and that's when I decided, okay, now I'm doing something totally on my own, no business partners, no investors. But at the time, so what am I going to do? So we got on sunbiz.com, and at the time, 3 of the top 10 franchises to buy were cleaning companies. So it was actually, my wife saw this, and she goes, "Hey, we should start a cleaning company." And I looked at her and said, "A cleaner? Like, that's what I'm going to do, huh?" Because I knew I was going to be doing this at the beginning. But I was raised on a farm. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. So after doing some research and looking into, there's profit to be made here. It's a lucrative business because even, when things get bad and the economy turns, you know, some of your big companies that may be getting cleaned 5 times a week now only get cleaned 3 times a week.
Sure.
But they still have to be cleaned
Yes,
because,
they do.
you know, unless they're going to do it themselves, which some of your smaller, you know, offices that you have, they'll, you
Sure.
know, go to that. But your bigger clients, you know, you're not going to lose them because they have to be cleaned. And so that's kind of how we got started. And the nice thing about, I think, the way that the company's grown is because I've done it all myself. And even to this day, we'll in the summers, we do a lot of charter schools. So in the summers, we go and strip and wax all of their VCT, clean all their floors, do what we call the summer clean. I'll show up at 2 in the morning, and there's guys, most everybody I've met along the way, but, you know, some of them may, oh, you were that one guy in the office when they came in for the interview. But then I show up to the job, and, you know, obviously I have supervisors there that know who I am, and I start cleaning right along with them. And then the guys realize, wait, you're the owner? And I'm like, yeah, oh, here, I'll get that. Oh, no, I've done this. Don't worry about it. And I think by doing that, I get the respect from them.
Absolutely. But isn't that what it takes to be successful? I mean, jump right in with both feet, you know? And it does. You're absolutely right when you can see that the owner isn't sitting up in the glass tower delegating, although delegating is helpful, but that, you know, well, I'm a farmer's daughter, so I know. I used to hear the farm stories from my mom when you say that you were raised on a farm, and boy, there's a lot of work that has to be done there, right?
Definitely.
So I respect you for starting this from the ground floor up and having it grow as it has. Now, you've been a member of Trinity Odessa Chamber?
Yes, I have.
For how long?
Probably about a little over a year now. We were actually their 100th member.
I was just going to, that's what Dan had just said,
Yes.
the 100th member.
So
How about 400th member?
I was the 100th. Yes, they are up. I think we're at 408. The last I'd heard a week and a half ago.
Every time he comes on here, they're making their goals, and I love
definitely,
that. So what would you say about being a member of the Trinity Odessa Chamber? Well, how has it helped you?
I love it. I sit on the board now.
Do you?
So,
okay.
And it's great. I mean, community involvement is something that I've always wanted, and no matter how big your company gets, without your community, you're not really going to have a company. And again, we have plans to continue growing. We have some roots now here. I was born and raised here in Dade City, so Pasco County. And now that we're over on this side of the county, I coach over at West Pasco. So I've been coaching over there for 5 years. And it's great. When you're involved with the community, you're out and about.
Sure.
I'll come into a new office and run into somebody that I coached, you know, maybe I know most of the parents, but it's an aunt of someone that, oh, I think you coach my nephew's soccer team. And it's just great when you're out in the community and you recognize people and people recognize you from things that you've done in the community. So
that's neat. Do you have children?
I do. I have a 12-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter.
Are they both playing soccer?
They are.
They are. Imagine that, right?
Totally their choice, but yes, they love it. They love it.
That's good. That's good. In fact, my kids played soccer up in Michigan before we moved down, and then they played soccer down here, and that was a lot of years ago. I raised my kids in West Pasco, so I have a heartfelt feeling for the area. It's amazing. So, you know, being a member of Trinity Odessa, that's a fairly new, you know, chamber, and I watched them grow to their first 200 very, very quickly. So you got right in when they started this up and everything, and of course to be able to be on the board and everything, you know, busy guy like you find time for this. I think it's wonderful.
It's good. You know, we started when Florida Hospital was building over in Wesley Chapel. We were very involved with that, with the construction cleanup and things. And obviously when that hospital came on board, it was what was making that community boom. So we were very involved over there, West Pasco Chamber, Wesley Chapel Chamber. That's about the time that my wife Erin came on board with the company. At that time, I said, Erin, this is where we're at. We have to be involved. She joined the Rotary over in Wesley Chapel. So with everything that we do over on this side of town, our office, our home, our kids' school, we just, you know, got to get over here a little more. So when Trinity Odessa started, we had heard about it. You know, they kind of had came into the office and, hey, but, you know, we didn't jump right on board. And then they came in and they went from, you know, it seemed like from when we first spoke to them up to telling us, hey, if you guys join, we're going to be right around 100 members. And I was like, that was fast. And again, knowing that I was here and not going back to the other side of the county as often, I thought, you know what, we're going to get involved with this. And lo and behold, when we joined, we happened to be the 100th member. So
that's so great.
that
That
was
is
very
really neat. I love to hear these stories. The fact that you do get out, get back, and give back, and it comes back to you in the community. Well, I want to thank you for joining us and
thank you very
coming
much,
on
Barbara.
to My Chamber TV. I wish you continued success and everything. And we'll have to have you come back.
Sounds good. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more right here at My Chamber TV.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
My middle son did not like to come to the dentist, but now he loves to come to the Beehive.
You don't have to be afraid to go to the dentist. Believe me, Dr. B and his worker bees are the best. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Walk through life. Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let's take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day. And everything's going your way. And you wanna make it last forever. We'll keep it together, 'cause it keeps getting better. Whoa, whoa.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV, our Chamber TV, and your Chamber TV. I'm Barbara Marvel, and with me is my next guest, Mr. Mike Bishop. You have the first and only brewery in Pasco County?
The first. There is another one that
Is
didn't
there?
open, about a year ago, but we are still the first and still the biggest.
And so tell me, what made you decide to open up a brewery? Just the thing.
Yeah.
Were you in a mood one day, or
Something like that.
Something like that?
I'm crazy. Yeah, I always kind of had a passion for beer throughout college. I went to USF, very close to the Yuengling Brewery there. I didn't major in anything like chemistry or anything of the sort, but I was in finance, studied that. Kind of right around the time that craft beer was starting to get popular. There wasn't much as far as breweries here in Florida. This was even before Cigar City had opened up. And, I just kind of applied to a few places to be an intern and learn a little bit about the brewing process. I was fortunate enough to catch on at a local brewery, one of the originals around here, and kind of learned the process. I was with them for about 2-3 years, on and off, and then kind of got the crazy idea to try and do it myself. And here I am.
Now, you must have a special taste for beer.
Yes, yes and no.
I mean, to me, beer's beer. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't mean that. Maybe that sounds disrespectful, but I love beer and pizza. But there's like connoisseurs of like wine and beer and all that. So what is your taste?
A lot of it. It's like you said, a lot of our job is education. The most popular beers that are known are very, general in taste, and we have more robust flavors. And, we do, anywhere between 30 and 50 different styles of beer every year. So, personally, I like the darker beers, the stouts, the porters. Even our most popular beer, our flagship beer, is an amber ale, Wavemaker Amber Ale. So, but we really kind of have to taste for everything. So
I'm just curious, a darker beer, what's the difference? I don't mean to sound so ignorant because I'm not really a beer drinker, but what?
Hey, I do this every day. So.
Okay, so what is the difference if you're explaining to a customer if they want to,
it's a very common question we have. The general answer is it's a different in ingredients, more specifically the malt ingredients, the barley, the wheat, that sort of thing. They have different roasting and treatments to it that make it different colors. So it could be as roasty as like a coffee bean and very dark, or it can be very lightly treated and look very light in color. So that's how you get the different colors of
But
beers.
the taste, is it like a richer in a darker?
It could be. Yeah, and sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. It depends on how they prepare it. But with hundreds of different ingredients that go into beer, you can come up with thousands of different styles. It's a little bit different than wine in that sense. So it's really up to the brewer to mix those ingredients the right way and kind of fine tune it to what we look for.
And now, how long have you had your brewery?
Sure, we've been open for a little over 3 years now. Over there in the West Pasco Industrial Park.
That is very, very cool.
Yeah.
Now, you were the 400th member with the Trinity Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, that was officially 2 weeks ago, actually.
So what made you join?
Dan just really pestered me for a long time.
He just pestered you?
I don't think he's going to like seeing that.
Is that what it was?
No, I think we started right around the time. I think the chamber's about that old, maybe a little bit younger, but right around when we started, we were still kind of our own disorganized mess. And, the chamber, we always saw it as a good tool to get people to know more about our brand.
Yes.
And this is going to sound kind of crazy, but we didn't really want more people to know about it because we were already making as much as we possibly could. And if it got more in demand, we'd have a serious supply issue. So we kind of kept our head down. Now that we're expanding and we're building our new facilities, we really want to start increasing our market exposure because now we have the beer to supply to people. So they came into the office and told me, hey, if you join up, you could be the 400th member. So I figured, it was the right time to do it. Let's go ahead and do it. And it was that day. They were like, we have a luncheon at noon, so we want you to come by the luncheon. We have a cake for you and everything. I'm like, I didn't even know I was signing up today. So here's my sign-up form, and I'll see you at lunch. But I met a lot of great people, already some really good connections in some industries that I didn't even think about. I mean, even just talking to markets before, I didn't even know about that. So, we're learning and, expanding the business.
Well, it sounds like you're ready to do that and joining the chamber. I mean, they get so involved with the community, and you do get more known when you're involved with the chamber. And of course, you're getting exposure here with My Chamber TV, and you'll be able to watch the show tomorrow or later on this evening and get a chance to see what's happening.
Yeah.
I tell you, because I didn't grow up, but I raised my kids in West Pasco, and a tiny little town when we came down here.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
And I'm going, a brewery? I mean, that's amazing.
Now Pasco has everything.
Big Storm Brewery. What made you come up? That's even a cool name. It gets your attention.
Yeah, thanks. We really wanted to do something that was somewhat of a local identifier, something that tied to the community, but not anything that was going to be very specific. We had, long-term goals and visions that we wanted to see happen. I've always just been fascinated by storms and the destructive and constructive nature of it, and it being just a new venture for me. We went with that name, and it's been kind of fun. It's provided some fun marketing aspect to it, with our names like Wavemaker, and our IP is called Arcus, which is actually a type of cloud. So, we try and kind of tie in some of those names and do some fun stuff with it.
When I think of that Big Storm Brewery, it gets my attention like, wow, this must be a really cool, really great. It's like, hitting you by storm with great beer, great taste.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should do marketing for us. Yeah, that's a great idea.
But it sounds good. It really does. I'm starting to get thirsty.
I know. I a lot of times I go to places, they ask me if I brought samples, and I never remember to bring any samples. So.
It's okay. We wouldn't be doing that on the air anyway. But
right.
I think it's fabulous. So you left college and started this right up?
It was pretty close. So I left college and graduated from USF with a finance degree, and then right after that, I went to go work for Morgan Stanley and did that for a little while. And while I was doing that, I was volunteering at that brewery I was telling you about. Once I did that for a little while, I kind of realized that, I think I can probably do it myself and do it better. So
this is interesting because we were just talking to Marcus, who is similar along the same lines, because he was in sales, making money for other people, a lot of money, and figured he'd be doing the same thing in starting your own business.
Yeah, and you get to actually do, in my instance, do what I'm passionate about, which is beer.
Right.
And it's funny how that works, where you do what you're passionate about. You're not really working anymore. I just, I'm here talking about beer. That's not really hard work exactly. And, I travel across the state. We have distribution through the entire state of Florida. And, I travel to accounts and distributors and just talk to them about the beer. That's it.
I know. I mean, how cool is that? So you're actually in a position now where you're opening up another place. Did you say it was in Clearwater?
Yeah. So we have 2 construction projects right now. As if one was not crazy enough, we decided to do 2 at one time. In Pasco, we're actually building a new facility for our original location. We've vastly outgrown that very fast, and we're getting our own building on the other side of the industrial park. And then at the same time, we're building a second facility that's down in Clearwater. It's on 49th Street. That will be a bigger production facility for us to continue to handle the state of Florida and then start growing past the state of Florida.
Wow. That's big. All I can think of is the brewery. Remember the clips from I Love Lucy when they were trying to keep up with production?
Yeah.
That's when you said you really didn't want to get more business because you weren't ready for that expansion yet.
Right.
So did you ever find yourself getting really backed up, like, whoa?
Oh, man, that's every day.
It's every day?
Yeah.
What does it tell you? Everybody's drinking more beer?
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes I'm a little bit... people ask me, how's the beer business going? And I go, oh, it's terrible. Nobody's drinking beer anymore. And people are like, really? I'm like, no. People continue.
That is a really dumb question.
That is a dumb question. We're trying as fast as we can to make as much beer as possible, but it's not a baked good. It takes time. There's fermentation. There's other processes. It's fun because it's artistic, but it's sophisticated science as well. There's a lot of very sophisticated equipment and specialized training and brewing degrees that people have to do this stuff, and we try our best to keep up with it, but every day our brewers are scrambling to do it. I mean, we transition from brewing to then packaging and kegging and over to the cooler, and then it loads on the truck, and then we just keep going, never stops.
Wow.
Yeah, we're 7 days a week.
Are you really?
We are, and we're not full third shift, but we do third shift probably half the week, I'd say.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Wow, well, boy, you have found your sweet spot in your career, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So I wanted to ask you a question. It just left my mind. It must have been a senior moment about when you started, getting involved with it. I mean, you had to learn an awful lot to take this on as your own business.
Yeah. You of course have to learn all the basic fundamentals of business like everybody else has.
Right.
You have to also understand the brewing. I was fortunate, to learn the brewing business a little bit from my previous internship. I also did get my degree in brewing, so I got a scholarship for a technical school that I did it online. I got my brewing certificate, so I'm a degreed brewer. So I was the original head brewer, but then we identified we needed to keep bringing in people that were very technically trained and oriented and understood their stuff. So we hired more brewers that had their degrees. We started building a staff. We're pretty close to 25 employees now. With loading up the new facilities, we're going to be probably pretty close to 40 by the end of the year.
You're putting people to work too.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's fun watching it. See people's passion mesh into my passion, and we all have the same passion, the same drive, and we have our culture, and we continue to move forward.
I love to hear when, and you're not the first one that says that, because I always like to ask that, what was the drive? And it seems like everybody that says it's my passion, nothing will stop you.
Right.
Nothing. If you're stepping into your passion, it's like you're going to make it work no matter what. You're never going to give up. You're going to stick with it. And I hear that time and time again from our business owners. And so I guess my message is if you're doing something right now that you're just kind of think about maybe you want to delve into your passion.
Yep.
Something that just is, or it's an organic force that's inside of us.
Yeah.
And you just don't ever want to give up.
You gotta do what you're passionate about. It's a mantra of mine. My wife is a nurse. It's a very thankless job in a lot of ways, but she's passionate about it and she's good at it.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. My daughter-in-law is a registered nurse, and she's going for her master's, and she's very, very passionate about it too, and she's very good at it.
Yep.
Right now, she's working at Disney a couple of days out of the week and everything, but she just loves it.
Yeah.
And so, when you're doing that, it makes a whole big difference. It doesn't seem like you're working.
Yeah. We love beer. So it helps. It helps.
That does
to analyze all the flavors, and it's competitive too. We like to see how it comes out when we're brewing it. It takes some time, so there's some patience aspect to it. We're never quite satisfied with what we do as brewers, but we continue to try and get better and fine tune it. And there's a lot of different processes to master. So. We keep ourselves busy.
Now, is your wife, does she get involved, or does her nursing career take her pretty much?
Her nursing career pretty much takes her the whole time, but we do brew a special beer for our anniversary every year. We call it Bishop's Bride's Ale. There's actually an old English tradition where the women would get together and brew the beer for the wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so before you can just go down the corner and buy some kegs for the wedding, they had to make the beer for it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and brewing used to predominantly be a job for females, and it kind of carried into Old English tradition as well. So the root of the word bridal actually stems from bride's ale, because the bridal party used to be the women getting together to make the beer for the wedding.
Huh.
So I always loved that tradition. I'm a bit of a beer historian too, so I wanted to kind of implement that in my own wedding. And fortunately, I found a woman that is as crazy as I am and enjoys it. So we brewed the beer for our wedding, and we actually submitted it for judging, and it scored very highly.
No kidding.
Yeah, we actually placed, out of a few hundred beers, placed second place in state of Florida competition. So
wow!
Yeah,
congratulations.
Yeah, I guess so. She holds it over my head all the time.
You really did get into it, I guess, huh?
Yeah. So we brew it for our wedding, and then we brew it every year since. So
that is really neat. I never heard that story.
Yeah, we do fun stuff like that. We do collaborations with other breweries. We do collaborations with local businesses. We like to tinker with it and be artistic with it too.
That is really neat.
Yeah.
Well, we have a break coming up right now, so we're going to go ahead and do that. When we come back, we're going to talk more about beer. I have a lot of questions I want to ask you about this, because you're really into it. Now you're getting me really into it. Just the whole, this is an art, right?
It is. It's art and science and just crazy.
And just crazy.
Yep.
Well, sometimes you got to be a little crazy to live on this planet today, right?
Yeah, that's the truth.
We'll take a break, and we'll be right back after this.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
My middle son did not like to come to the dentist, but now he loves to come to the Beehive.
You don't have to be afraid to go to the dentist. Believe me, Dr. B and his worker bees are the best. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Walk through life. Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let's take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day. And everything's going your way. And you wanna make it last forever. We'll keep it together, 'cause it keeps getting better. Whoa, whoa.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly. Thanks for joining me. We are talking about beer. And I never thought I could get so interested in beer, brewery. I mean, this is so exciting, and thank you for sharing all this.
Of
And you
course.
were wondering how much we were going to talk about beer.
Yeah, I talk about it all day, every day, so.
I know. Well, I'm just really fascinated about it. And during the break, I was asking if you actually do tours
Right.
through, and you're getting ready to open up another brewery down in Clearwater.
Yeah, so both of our facilities will offer tours. Right now, our current tap room, it's in the middle of the brewery, so the tour is basically at the bar. But in the new facility here in Pasco, it's still going to be very wide open. We are going to offer tours for people to kind of walk around and check it out too. In Pinellas County, we'll also offer tours as well to kind of see the bigger stuff and the more sophisticated equipment down there.
That is so cool. So how many different flavors?
Yeah.
I mean, is that what you even call it, or is it?
Yeah, beers,
doesn't
flavors,
sound-
recipes. We usually just say beers.
Yeah.
We do over 30 different kinds of beers on a year.
Really?
We'll probably do more next year because we'll have
Yeah.
2 facilities. We have 3 main beers that we predominantly sell around the area. It's our Wavemaker Amber Ale, our Arcus IPA, and our Helicity Pilsner. That's pretty new. We actually just started brewing that. So those are our main beers, but we tinker, you'll see in our website, we have plenty of different beers there, and we're continually adding more. We're always playing with different recipes and seeing how they turn out.
So What is it? What is the name of your website so you can check this all out?
Yeah, it's www.bigstormbrewery.com. We're also on Facebook, very heavily in social media in the beer industry. So we'll post on Instagram, Twitter, pretty much everywhere.
That's really great.
Yeah.
So I bet you have beer connoisseurs that get involved with you. Do you have like a club or?
Yeah, we have so absolutely. There's a tremendous beer community in Tampa Bay with the growth of the industry. There's a lot of people who are very interested in all the breweries. We have over 30 breweries in Tampa Bay now. So they get very involved with it. We see them at many different events and festivals throughout the area. More locally here in Pasco, we also have a mug club where people join up and they have their own mug at the brewery, and they get access to beers a little earlier than everybody else. They get larger pours. We're planning on doing a kind of a soft opening in our new place, and we'll invite our mug club members, kind of our diehard customers. So we're always looking to do more with that. And in the new facility, we'll have an expanded tap room, so we can do more fun community events, things like that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So I tell you, when I'm sitting here thinking about how many different flavors, you've got 30 different going on. Mm-hmm. Like, how would I know what to order? Not even being a beer drinker. Like, what would I?
A lot relies on going back to education. Our bartenders are knowledgeable about our beers. A lot of times people come to our tap room. So when I say tap room, people generally think wine, like a tasting. It's not a tasting. We're a full-on come in. You could buy pints of beer to go, whatever you want. So when you approach our bartender is going to ask you, what you typically like, and we get answers from I don't drink beer to I like Bud Light to I like some crazy beer up in North Carolina. So our bartenders have to kind of identify what flavor profiles you kind of like, and they usually pick a couple. We sample them to you. We do free samples, and typically we can find a flavor for anybody. A lot of people who say they don't like beer, it's just because they haven't found a beer they like yet.
I see.
There's thousands of different kinds of beer.
That makes a lot of sense, because I have this thing, like, I love pizza and beer, but I have to be in the mood for it. It's just a great combination. But what I have had is like a beer that has been kind of bitter, so it kind of like turns me off to it. But during the commercial break, we had our producer out. We were talking about some of the cans and bottles of beer that you get at a restaurant. That's not what your brewery is all about. You have a... Yeah,
I mean, there's different... There's different pairings with food and beer, just like wine and food. With a pizza, you want to do something that's a little bit more, a lighter beer, something a little more polished, somewhat like a lager, like our new Pilsner. That would go well with pizza. Things like, meaty dishes, hamburgers, things like that would be more like our amber ale. It's a little bit darker. The flavors are a little bit more robust, so it fits better with that kind of food. So you can kind of do food and beer pairings as well. But, we do, cans and draft for restaurants, bars across the entire state, all the way from Panhandle down to the Keys. So we're pretty familiar with the food industry. We're kind of, in the same area as them. So
that's really neat.
Yeah.
So I would want a lighter beer if I'm...
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily bitter.
Right, it could be.
Could be?
Yeah, there's people...
And some people probably like that, right? Yeah.
Right, you go into like IPAs that are more bitter beer. You can go all the way down to lighter lagers that are pretty much no bitterness, just very smooth and finish a lot cleaner. A common misconception is, identifying beers between dark and light. That's not really the case. Guinness is one of the lighter beers out there. People don't realize that. It's actually a very light beer, but just because it's very dark, people think that it's heavier beer.
Yes, I always did too.
Right, but there's actually light beers, beers that are pretty much see-through, that are very heavy, very high alcohol, very strong beers.
Really?
Yeah, so,
wow.
So you can't ever identify it by the color. You have to really identify it by the style. If it's an ale or a lager, is really the traditional way of determining what kind of beer it's going to be. So it could be a little overwhelming for people that don't understand beer, but it really just comes down to the education of the server, the place you're going into. And when you come to our place, our bartenders are knowledgeable about our beer, and we really try and make it a comfortable environment to invite people to try our different beers and also learn about the craft beer industry.
I'm fascinated. I'm following you right. I'm really getting into this. What are your hours over there?
Yeah, so right now we're a little bit limited because of our size. We're only we do 4 to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday. We're open a little bit later on Friday, but we still open at 4. Saturday we open 2 to 10, and Sunday we're 1 to 8. So it's somewhat limited hours right now. But with our new tap rooms, we're looking to expand hours because we'll have our own buildings and our own parking lots, and we'll have some more freedom to do what we want to do. So I don't quite know those hours yet, but I would check back on our Facebook or any kind of social media. So
I just remembered this question I wanted to ask you. So there's different percentages of the alcohol in the beers.
Yeah.
I see. So they go from what to what?
Oh, gosh. They go anywhere from, when you talk about globally and different styles of beers and different cultures, you have anything from, 1.5% beer that they'll give to children, in different cultures in the Far East or even South America, all the way up to some beers that they're brewing out in the British Isles that are close to 25-30%.
No kidding. That's a huge range.
Yeah, it's a huge range. And typically you'll see craft beers fall in that 5 to 10% range. That's where a majority of the beers are, but we'll brew some beers that are a little bit more than 10. We'll brew some beers that are a little bit less than 5, but not many. So
that is really exciting. Well, I can't wait to see you expand and
thank you.
And be able to come down. I'd love to come over with the crew. And that would be really like a great field trip for me.
Yeah, it usually is. It's funny. When people want to meet with me, they typically want to meet with me on a Friday afternoon. I never know why anybody wants to come to the brewery on Friday in the afternoon, but we're hoping to have our next facility open in December here in Pasco. We're really kind of crossing fingers on December 1, but it'll probably be middle of December, I imagine. And then Clearwater will probably look to end of December, beginning of January.
Wow.
And both will have full tap rooms. They'll have their own kind of flair, but it's all the same family, so they'll still have that same feel.
Where is that industrial center that you're located? Is it off of Ridge Road? Or?
No, it's the West Pasco Industrial Park, actually.
Oh, the West okay.
Yeah, same industrial park you were just talking to Marcus about, actually. We're neighbors.
Very good.
Yeah, it's very great industrial park, very centrally located here, and just been awesome to us. So,
that's perfect.
All the growth around there is great.
Oh, the growth is amazing in Pasco County right now. I can't even believe it. I raised my kids here how many years ago, and it is just going through the roof. It truly is. And it's always refreshing to hear business owners that have started right from the ground up. And it's, you guys are, young and starting this out and being so successful, I think is absolutely fabulous. I do. Let's give everyone your website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. It's bigstormbrewery.com.
Okay.
You'll see there, we have the different beers, and we'll have some more stuff in our tap room. We're in the process of revamping the website a little bit, so keep checking back. We're trying to stay really on social media as well. It's a very social media driven industry. So you can see any of our events. We do events across the state at different bars and restaurant partners of ours, as well as events in our tap room too. So
that's fun. That's fun. My kids, my sons, they're beer drinkers. They are beer drinkers. And every now and again, I think they leave the families so they can go out and have a beer, just the brothers together. And we get the baby, right? So I'm going to get your hours next time that they're together. I'm going to send them over to your place.
Yeah, great. Come on by.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yep.
Mike Bishop with
Big Storm Brewing Company.
Very good. This has been exciting, and you thought we couldn't talk about beer.
Oh, I figured we could for a while. So
thank you so much, my friend, and good luck. Good luck with your new place, and who knows? Maybe Tampa Bay Multimedia will come over and shoot some B-roll and
come on by.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Sounds
especially in. Who would have thought? I moved down here in Pasco County in 1984. There wasn't barely. We had to search for a pizza place.
Yeah.
It was that. It was that barren. It truly was. And now you were the first brewery.
Yeah.
So.
And now we have a major statewide brewery.
Wow, that's exciting. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next week. We have some special guests coming in, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Thanks for being with us.